Indie games can offer some of the most creative and unique gaming experiences. You might have already played some good ones out there. But today, we're going to be checking out 3 FPS indie games that you've never played before. Or maybe you have. Gloomwood is a first-person survival horror game set in a dark Victorian-inspired city. The game heavily relies on stealth and strategy. The best way I can describe it is a mix of Thief, Resident Evil, and a sprinkle of Bloodborne. You are the Doctor, and you start your journey in a jail cell until you're freed by a mysterious man and let loose in a corrupted world where everyone is out to get you. The game is open world and never holds your hand to help, making it very rewarding when you actually figure shit out by yourself. Your character always feels underpowered and outnumbered, but it forces you to utilize the stealthy playstyle and treat every encounter carefully. Stay in shadow, stab guy in back. It's simple, yet unforgiving. You eventually find more weapons like revolvers and even a shotgun, but ammo is never promised, so going out like Rambo is usually not ideal. The UI is very limited and adds to the already impressive immersion the game creates. No health bars, no ammo count on the side, nothing. This had me counting how many times I got hit or running away to check my health in the journal. Your main source of inventory is your briefcase, and the space in there is also very limited. You can't just toss 4 cheese wheels in that bitch and call it a day. Hoarding every item you find is almost impossible, and some Tetrising needs to be done. There are a handful of enemy types in the game, but I've only met a few. The ones you'll be encountering the most are the Huntsmen. These guys are your typical generic goons, but instead of flat caps, they got the pilgrim hats. Aside from the Huntsmen, I also ran into some fish dogs. They were not to be trifled with, so instead of taking them out, I snuck right past them. But the real fear kicked in when I met the Goat Man. And let me tell you about the Goat Man. I found him loitering inside a deserted tavern. Well, actually you hear him before you see him. Without spoiling too much of the game, you have to get a shotgun to kill him, but it's locked behind a case. So now you have to go around the tavern looking for clues on how to open this case, all while trying not to get caught and killed by him. Gloomwood has been in my library for a while, and I'm glad I finally got to play it. If you played Gloomwood and still live in the UK, you missed the entire point of the game. Maximum Action is an old school shooter made in 2018. If you ever wanted to be a main character in an action movie, then this is the game for you. Each level feels like a scene out of Die Hard or John Wick. The best way I could describe the gameplay is Max Payne plus Hotline Miami, and you get this. You start the game by customizing your character, and of course I went with the ski mask. They asked for my name in the movie studio, so I filled that out accordingly. The goal of each level is simple: kill everything that moves in the most stylish way possible. Slow motion diving kills, headshots, explosions, anything violent will up your score. And there's definitely no shortage of weapons. You can dual wield almost everything, RPGs and LMGs included. The setting of each level ranges from Chinatown back alleys to nightclubs, and the synthwave music matches the aesthetic perfectly. At the end of each level, there's an option to rewatch the scene in a cinematic POV. It's really cool to see your character do their own stunts. Add directed by John Woo somewhere on the screen and we got ourselves a movie. It's a little scuffed right now, with the player models twitching and the gun models not showing sometimes, but it's only an alpha, so it can only get better. There's also endless mode levels you can unlock by completing the main missions. The endless mode has you facing hordes of enemies until you die or quit. It's fun to play when you want to test out all the types of guns in the game. There's also a level editor in the game if you have the creativity and patience to make one yourself, and from first glance, it looked pretty extensive. I sadly do not. So instead, I went to the Steam Workshop to check out levels created by other players. There's hundreds of levels and even more guns to add to your game. I tried a map that had me air out a whole apartment block. Overall, this game was solid fun. Whether you want to speedrun the stages or play casually, the simple but satisfying gameplay keeps you hooked, and it definitely lives up to the title. I really exercised my Second Amendment with this one. Wrought is an action-adventure RPG that takes place on a distant planet. The lore gets a little weird, so bear with me here. You play as a Gajeshian cultist, a mythological being built with body parts from dead saints. Yes, yeah, I know. You are sent to a terraformed planet called Krisenborg on a mission to find and kill somebody. Now, Wrought Flesh is far from a normal game, and I would say the only thing normal about it is the gameplay. But the unique thing this game lets you do is rip out and equip organs. When you start the game, you're thrown into a desert wasteland. You pick up a couple guns and a drug called Kill Fuck, which increases your reflexes, but frequent overdoses causes the user to no longer form words when speaking. You know, for a name like that, it actually doesn't sound too bad. The next thing I needed were some organs, because without it, I would get one shot by everything in the game. So I had to kill some space bandits for their body parts. Each organ increases different stats. Lungs boost your agility, hearts increase your HP regen, and intestines increase your max HP and digestion. Digestion being how much health you get when you eat corpses, which is the primary way to heal in this game. As you take damage, the durability of your organs get lower and eventually die out. So you have to manage your body parts and constantly replace them with new ones. Eventually, as you run around the map, you'll come across towns with villagers who sound like they took too much kill fuck. These villagers give out side quests that reward you with better weapons and better organs. Some of them reward you a little differently though. There are 3 main areas you'll come across in your journey, each with their own enemy types. Enemies range from drugged up space bandits to some nasty looking bugs. Some big ass bugs. The developer actually has a YouTube channel where he talks about Wrought Flesh and the other games he's developing, so go check that out. All in all, playing Wrought Flesh was a very unique experience. If you like stealing organs, then this is definitely a game for you. When you fall asleep first at the sleepover. And that's all the games for today. Let me know in the comments if there's any games you want me to check out for some upcoming videos. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe. Now get the fuck out of here.